Howdy folks, and welcome back to War Thunder with the mighty Jingles. Yes, do not adjust your sets, I am flying aircraft in War Thunder and making videos about it and putting it up on YouTube. It has been a while since I did a War Thunder Air Forces video. But it's been a while since anything interesting happened when I've been flying War Thunder Air Forces. So, you know, that explains the lack of content, I'm afraid. This time, I am in a B-17G, and I'm in an arcade domination map. Bombers, not particularly useful in arcade domination maps, but I do like to pick one as my first aircraft in my lineup in order to do stuff like this. Now, ground strike maps are all about the bombers, and domination maps are all about the fighters. So bringing a bomber to a domination map, you could argue it's a bit like bringing a knife to a gunfight. And while bombers undeniably rule the roost on ground strike missions, to the point where they make fighters practically irrelevant, they're boring as shit. It's just, I'll just climb to 6,000 meters and then fly over a point on the map, pressing the space bar every 40 seconds. It's not exactly thrilling gameplay. If you want to have fun in a bomber, load it up for a domination match. So I'm lined up on approach across all three airstrips. We've got a Ju-87 has already capped the first airbase, so now I'm going into gunship mode. And I'm literally just going to cruise across all three airbases looking for one to land on. I've got 2,000 pound bombs in this bomber, and they're all on a 2-second delay, so I'm just going to drop a couple off to try to clear anybody on my tail if my tail gunners don't take them out. A 2,000 pound bomb will. I've critted a Focke-Wulf 190, look at that mushroom cloud. Keep going. Easily distracted fighter pilots. Spot a nice big shiny target cruising around at low altitude. They all go for you. The B-17 can take some hits. And, okay, somebody else is capping B, so I'm going to keep going straight for C. Spitfire and a BF-109 closing in. You do tend to attract a lot of attention when you do this. but that's the point. The point is to distract all of the short attention span fighter pilots and hopefully cap a base as well. Oh, I've set a Spitfire on fire, which is nice. Of course, I've got a burning engine and a burning fuel tank as well, and yeah, this is not going to end well. Oh well, never mind. But you get the idea. You see the theory, so let's try that again. You see, War Thunder thought that it was trolling me hard today. Every time I loaded up the Americans with B-17s in the lineup, it just kept giving me domination match after domination match after domination match. But I didn't care. I would far rather play a bomber on a domination match than play anything in a ground strike match. Flying around at 6,000 meters over a spot on the map, pressing your spacebar every 40 to 50 seconds is not exciting. It's not interesting. It's boring. This is fun. Different map, although to all intents and purposes it may as well be exactly the same, and we're going to do exactly the same thing. Whole swarm of enemy fighters don't care. Don't expect to survive this, just want to troll them hard and have some fun. Gunners open up. They're on my tail. Start dropping bombs. Landing gear down. Do not expect to survive this. But as long as we cap the base, it doesn't matter. How much more fun was that? How much more fun was that than circling a dot at 6,000 meters pressing the spacebar? And fun's what it's all about. And fun is what it's about. Or fun should be what it's about. Bombers on domination matches are largely a waste of time. Oh, but there's ground targets for them to go for. Yeah, the only reason there's ground targets for them to go for is to give the bombers something to do and make them not feel pointless. Screw that. I'm turning my bomber into a gunship. It's much more fun. You don't last very long, but it's a lot more exciting. It's also surprisingly effective. Look at this. There's 6 of them on me, including a year 2. Oh, bless him. There's a Soviet bomber there, getting into the spirit of things. That's what we like to see. There's 6 of them on me there. And I was hitting them all, and I shot the Year 2 down. So 6 of them not capping our airbase, and 6 of them not shooting at any of our fighters. You couldn't do that in a Spitfire, and this is why I love playing bombers. Against all reason, I love playing bombers on domination matches. And yeah, look, 3rd on the team. 3rd on the team, and all I've done is fly over a couple of airstrips. It is actually quite effective. It's certainly more effective and a damn sight more interesting than dropping bombs on ground targets. Turn your bombers into gunships. Live a little. Of course, you're not always going to be lucky enough to get domination matches when you're flying your bombers. Sometimes you're going to have to play ground strike as well. And yeah, you could go after the ground targets, but that's just doing what they want you to do. It's a lot more interesting if you go after the bombers instead. And, you know, it's B-17 on B-17. You can't say it's not a fair fight. Set him on fire. Watch the crits stack up on this guy. And I know a lot of people think that flying bombers in War Thunder at the moment is a bit weak. It's a bit cheesy. And if you're flying bombers in realistic and simulator mode, you'd be absolutely correct. Arcade, it's a different matter. And Gaijin have really struggled to get bombers right throughout the course of War Thunder's development. In one patch, it's like flying a tinderbox that bursts into flames and explodes the second anybody so much as looks at them. In the very next patch, it's gone right to the other end of the spectrum. Bombers are flying death machines with a 1 cubic kilometre kill zone all around them that's just suicide for a fighter pilot to enter. But the thing about balancing bombers is that Gaijin aren't just balancing bombers in arcade mode. There are 2 other game modes in War Thunder as well, as realistic and simulator. And in realistic and simulator, you don't get aiming assistance. You don't get that target lead indicator pop-up that shows you where you should be pointing the nose of your aircraft to at least score a hit on the centre of mass of the bomber, even if it doesn't tell you exactly where to fire, in order to hit things like engines and fuel tanks. In arcade, you do get that, and so I feel that the game at the moment is more or less balanced. In arcade mode, in realistic and simulator, it's a different matter entirely. In realistic and simulator mode, there's a lot more free space to fly around in. You tend not to get jumped by 6 fighters at once in a lone bomber when you're flying realistic and simulator. And the bomber's gunners are just as good in realistic and simulator as they are in arcade. And so nobody really cares if I'm derping around and doing dumb shit in a bomber in an arcade battle. Doing dumb shit is what arcade battles are for. It's all part of the fun. Nobody takes anything too seriously in an arcade battle. But when you take that bomber with those deadly accurate gunners and put it in a realistic, or heaven forbid, a simulator battle, where the gunners are just as good as they are in arcade, but the level of skill required to actually fly an aircraft increases exponentially, particularly in simulator battles, and people start getting very angry with bombers indeed, and you can completely understand why. So in order to prove the point, I am going to fly a simulator battle in a B-17, and this is the first time I have ever flown a simulator battle in War Thunder in over a year and a half of playing, and oh my god, where's my aircraft? Where's my plane? Well, okay, so there's no third-person view, and the B-17 does not yet have a cockpit model. Okay, but here's the thing, and this is what's killing simulator battles. Look at that. Every single person on my team who isn't AI is flying a bomber. Now, I'm certainly not going to be so judgmental to sit here and tell you that everybody is flying bombers in simulator battles because it's easy mode. And oh, there we go, we can actually see the aircraft now. Switch to gunner view and you can see the B-17G there with the Mighty 8th skin. But what I can tell you is that I am certainly playing the B-17 in simulator battles because it's easy mode. If I was flying a fighter, I would probably crash on takeoff. It's that much more difficult to control the aircraft. Imagine how hard it is and how good you have to be to fly a fighter in a simulator battle and hit anything. Throughout the course of this battle, I really struggled just to point this aircraft in the rough direction of the enemy airbase. Flying a fighter and hitting and killing anything, you have to be good. You really do have to know what you're doing. I, on the other hand, have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. This is the functional equivalent of installing World of Tanks, buying yourself a premium tier 8 heavy and then jumping straight into it in your first game. But with one significant difference. I don't actually need to know what I'm doing in order to do well flying a bomber in a simulator battle. Because I have lots and lots of AI gunners, and those AI gunners have lots and lots of 50 caliber machine guns, and those gunners are very, very good, and they know what they're doing because I have thrown lots of money at War Thunder. And this is what makes bombers fundamentally broken in War Thunder in anything other than arcade battle mode. Bandits spotted, 12 o'clock low. Initially I thought it was our first contact with enemy fighters, but we still haven't seen any of them. These are in fact a clutch of AI HE-111s heading the other way. Take a few shots at them, but I am of course completely inept, so every shot I fired missed. Meanwhile, we're approaching the enemy base, but the cloud ceiling is at around about 1700 meters. So I kill the throttle, put the B-17 into a shallow dive in order to break out through the cloud layer so I can actually put the bomb sight over the target. Of course I'm crap, so I've done it too late, and I'm actually going to end up overshooting the enemy base. Any second now I'm going to start taking fire from flak, and that's my first indication that I've already gone too far. Remember, I never said I was any good at this. This is my first simulator battle ever. I haven't even seen an enemy fighter yet. There we go. I know I'm over the airbase now. Flak's coming up to meet me. Strangely, even though I can't actually see the enemy airbase there, flak gunners have no problem seeing me through the clouds. And there we go, broken through the cloud cover. Where's the enemy base? Have a look at the map. Crap, I've gone past it. Alright. Level off. Kill some of that airspeed. I'm going dangerously quickly. Have a look around. There it is. Okay. Airspeed's bleeding off nicely. And I almost forget to throttle back up again as I put this thing into a turn. I have 8,000 pounds of bombs on the B-17G. 4 2,000-pound bombs. 2 in an internal bomb bay and 2 carried in racks on the wings. Throttle back up again. Speed's just under 400 kilometers per hour. Bring it around. I'm going to level it off. Except I'm not, because I'm crap. Where's the airbase gone? I am seriously bad at this. This is my first ever sim battle. Where is it? Ah, right, okay. Straighten her up. There it is. Into bomb sight view. Now watch how hard this is. And bombs away. Flak's coming up to meet me. I'm not going to see the bombs hit the target. You're just going to have to take my word for it. I did land all 4 2,000-pound bombs on the target. There we go. Base damaged, base damaged, base damaged. Good stuff. Try to get out of the flak zone. Turn around. And I do not expect to be able to land this aircraft. It took me 3 attempts to get... well, you've seen how bad I am at landing, even in realistic battles. I'm never going to manage to pull it off in simulator. So, bomb's gone. I'm just going to turn it around, head for home. Now, one of the other things that you may not have noticed about flying simulator battles is you don't get a radar. There's no warning whatsoever that you're about to get shot at by an enemy fighter. Unless, of course, you have AI gunners and you hear them opening up on him. Now he's managed to shoot my wing off, so well done to him. In a simulator battle, precise shooting like that, precise flying like that, is very, very hard to do. So Kazuya Toyama, very, very well done. Unfortunately for him, and I had absolutely nothing to do with it, I've critted his wing. Well, I haven't critted his wing, my gunners have critted his wing. And if you pay attention to the bottom right corner of the screen, there it is. Shot down by Jingles B17, which is complete bullshit. He didn't get shot down by Jingles, he got killed by the AI. And that is never fun. And this is why there is so much hatred directed towards bomber pilots in realistic and simulator battles. And it's probably, if we're being honest about it, why there are so many bombers in realistic and simulator battles. No skill required, and this is why bombers in War Thunder are still fundamentally broken in any mode other than arcade, where it doesn't really matter. So, to my eternal shame, my one and only simulator battle experience in over a year and a half of playing War Thunder was the controls, and I use the word controls in the loosest possible sense of the word, of a dirty B-17. My apologies to the War Thunder simulator community. I assure you it will not happen again. I'll be confining my bomber antics to arcade battles, where it doesn't really matter, and it's a hell of a lot more fun. As always folks, watch your six, and I'll catch you next time.